The importance of human communication and body language. We are humans. We communicate with more than just words. We communicate with body movement, facial expressions, and sometimes even a single eye glance. It is essential to understand and recognize all forms of nonverbal communication because it helps understand what one is trying to fully communicate to another. It's all about looking at the entire picture. As communicators, it is a necessity to pay close attention to all types of body language in face-to-face communication. In this speech, I will be discussing specifically 3 aspects of nonverbal communication dealing with body language. Those being facial expressions, proxemics, and overall gestures. When communicating face-to-face, it is important to concentrate on facial expressions. It is crucial to help understand what one is communicating. In 2012, Sandra E. Carter and Von Hagen T. Bailey wrote a book, Facial Expression Dynamic Patterns, Impairments, and Social Perceptions. In the book, it explains how to decipher emotions by paying attention to certain features on the face. The book also explains how the face is the window of emotion during social interaction. This meaning the face displays how a person is truly feeling when they are communicating. So they could be verbally saying one thing but meaning completely the opposite. For example, lying. One can tell if somebody is lying by their facial expressions. People believe they can mask their emotions if they know exactly what they are trying to mask. But unfortunately, according to the book, by using Darwin's inhibition hypothesis, this is not possible. It states people cannot fully forge a facial expression and hide the true emotion one is feeling. They call it leakage, and this leakage is because of the connection between the brain and the muscles in the face. In Chapter 2, it states, the human face is a dynamic canvas upon which humans voluntarily and involuntarily display their most intimate feelings. And this summarizes how important facial expressions are. Now that I have discussed communications with facial expressions, let me move on to my next point, which is communicating through proxemics. In 2009, Sage Publications, Foss K.A., and Littlejohn S.W. wrote an encyclopedia of communication theory. In this, it states different aspects of communications on a very large spectrum, but specifically it goes over communications dealing with proxemics. The encyclopedia states, how we implore space during interaction sends a powerful message about ourselves and about relationship with others. This meaning how much personal space we give another person decides how comfortable and uncomfortable we are. Normally, if one is closer to someone, it means they are comfortable. If someone gives a large amount of distance, they are uncomfortable. In the encyclopedia, it talks about the differences genders have. Males tend to give more space than females. Now that I have discussed proxemics, let me move on to my last point, which is gestures. Gestures that someone presents in face-to-face communication is important when understanding a message one is trying to communicate. In an article, You Need Hands, by Geoff Watts, written in 2006. His main points is summarized in this one quote. Gestures we produce reflect our thoughts, said Goldmeadow. Those thoughts are often not revealed in words. So our gestures have an underlying meaning that are unable to be said through words. Emotions are definitely reflected through gestures. When we are angry, we tend to move our hands more and forceful than when we are sad, and we are more conserved, maybe shrug our shoulders but not a whole lot of movement is happening, but the little movement does show how we are feeling. In conclusion, as communicators, it is a necessity to pay close attention to all types of body language in face-to-face communication. Today, we discussed the importance of paying attention to body language. In doing so, by observing one's facial expressions to see if they're lying, in proxemics, seeing how close one stands, in determining how comfortable they are with someone, and finally, how gestures express what words cannot. Communication is not only the words that come out of our mouth, but how our body communicates with the words coming out of our mouths. Thank you.